Good morning. If I could ask everyone to please take their seats. Hi. All right, we're going to get started. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our 22nd annual Starting Line Breakfast. My name is Dr. Sarah Larios Mitchell, and I am the CEO at Star Vista, and I am absolutely excited. I'm feeling electrified right now just by seeing all of you here. Thank you so much for coming to our event this morning. Today, we celebrate partnerships, one of Star Vista's core values. For us, partnerships are about working together as a team with and through mutual trust, collaboration, and cooperation. As I look at the audience, at all of you this morning, I'm feeling absolutely gratified and proud of the wonderfully successful partnerships that we have been able to forge this morning. And throughout the past 30 years or so, we have forged partnerships with all of you, supporters, partners, and our remarkable board of directors. For over 30 years, partnerships between our dedicated staff and clients have been integral to having Star Vista fulfilling its mission of strengthening communities. You will not find more passionate and talented people than our staff. I am so proud of them, and I thank them all for their very hard work. They are committed to bettering our community. Star Vista staff are at work throughout San Mateo County, supporting homeless, runaway, and former foster youth, children of parents with addictions, children who are victims of domestic violence, incarcerated girls, youth, and adults with drug and alcohol issues, and so many other issues. The transformative difference we at Star Vista have the fortune to witness every day with our clients simply cannot happen without you. Our generous donors, volunteers, funders, and partners, such as school districts, county partners, including probation, the Human Services Agency, behavioral health and recovery services, the Sheriff's Office, and of course, police agencies. Thank you for the difference you create through our partnership and your support. Now I'd like to take a few moments to acknowledge key groups in our audience. I would like to invite all elected officials or their representatives to please stand and be recognized. I know you're here. I'd like to invite all the superintendents, school district leaders, trustees, principals, and teachers, including my 4th grade teacher, Miss Susie Spire. No joke. Please stand and be recognized. I'd like to invite all the police chiefs to please stand and be recognized. Would the sheriff and members from his staff also stand and please be recognized? I'd like to invite our county coroner to please stand and be recognized. There he is. And finally, I would like to acknowledge our friend, the county manager, Mr. John Maltby. I thank you all for your leadership and partnership and for your trust and confidence in Star Vista. And now I'd like to take this opportunity to recognize some of our Starting Line Breakfast sponsors. I'd like to ask you to stand up when I call your names. Our heroes include the Community Service League, the Danford Foundation, the Hanig Law Firm, and Mr. William B. Campbell. You're here, please stand. Thank you. Our champions include Wells Fargo, Sutter Health, Mills Peninsula Health Services, and the Palo Alto Medical Foundation. Our community builders are the law offices of Armstrong and Shue. Please give them a nice round of applause. You can also see the rest of our generous sponsors on page 6 of the program. Before we introduce the other presenters in this morning's program, I'd like to take a moment to make sure everyone has had a chance to turn in their business card or fill out a card for our special raffle. The drawing will happen at the end of the program, and I will tell you that we have amazing prizes. I have been sworn to secrecy by my staff to not reveal what we are giving away. But I'll tell you, I asked them, can I put my card in there when I saw what we were giving away? And they said, absolutely not. So I have to listen to them. You'll see Ivana and Denise coming around. They'll collect your cards. You can see them in the back there at the baskets. Raise your hand if you'd like to put it in. Again, really, you want to enter your name. All right. This morning, we will be honoring partnerships with a few unique individuals. One of them helped create the then brand new Your House South program for runaway youth over 20 years ago. Another is a former Star Vista staff member from also 20 years ago who played a key role in a client's life. We're also acknowledging a remarkable police officer, someone who never gave up on an individual and helped him see and feel hopeful about the future. We're also delighted to recognize a very special organization that is dedicated to preventing and treating child abuse. I am honored and truly humbled to have you among us. Later this morning, we will have the great pleasure of hearing from one of the Bay Area's most beloved San Francisco 49er alumni. If there's anyone here who can tell us about the inspirational power of teamwork, of working together to achieve greatness, it is Mr. Keena Turner with 4 Super Bowl rings. Now, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the chair of our board of directors, Dr. Leslie Martin.
Thank you, Sarah, and good morning, everyone. I'm delighted to be here and to celebrate the wonderful partnership Star Vista shares with our community. Over the past year, as board chair, I have had the privilege of working with an extraordinary group of individuals who have worked tirelessly to help advance Star Vista's mission and to always be looking at ways of doing things better. As my fellow Star Vista board members, I ask them please stand and be recognized. If you can stand, this is the most dynamic board I have ever served on, so let's give them a hand. Each and every board member is an active participant, and it's wonderful. I would also like to thank Joni Spencer Trifser and the Crown Plaza Hotel, and all the volunteers and staff who helped make the event possible. Thank you for your dedication and your hard work. So it is my honor and privilege to present our first Star Visionary Award. This award recognizes those who've made special contributions in our communities through their commitment to helping youth and families overcome challenges and thrive. Hedge Fund Cares, also known as Help for Children, is an international charity. Supported largely by the hedge fund industry, its sole mission is preventing and treating child abuse. Since its inception in 1998, Help for Children has awarded over 1,000 grants totaling more than $37 million. Star Vista is very grateful for their generous support of our differential response program. On behalf of all of us at Star Vista, I'm proud to present the Star Visionary Award to Help for Children. Accepting the award on their behalf are Bill Haggerty and Mark Bellius, who are both global board members.
Just a quick, as it's mentioned, we are an industry group focused solely on child abuse, and here locally, each chapter raises money locally and distributes it. We've been doing this for 13 years now and have been able to distribute $7.5 million here in the Bay Area to agencies like Star Vista that help try to deal with child abuse. And our invaluable partner from the beginning has been the 49ers Foundation, and without their help, we wouldn't raise as much money as we do each year. So thank you.
Thank you to Help for Children. For all you do to prevent, treat, and educate families, professionals, and the public about child abuse. Next, I would like to call up San Mateo County Supervisor Warren Solcombe to introduce the next recipient of the Star Vista Award.
Well, I have to tell you, Sarah is normally very, very organized, as you all know and as the board knows. Right? Well, not so much. When I saw her this morning, she said, did you get the email that I sent you on your speech? I said, speech? I'm coming to enjoy breakfast and to hear Keena Turner talk. I'm not giving a speech. Oh, yes, you are. Just a minute. Let me go get it. So I have my speech here. Thank you, Sarah. And it's really not a reflection on you and your organizational skills, but rather it's a reflection on me and my organizational skills. So please forgive me. It's great to be here. Thank you and good morning. And I'm very pleased to have the honor to recognize the late Alfred Brown. Al Brown dedicated his long career to helping youth. He was born in Boston, and at the young age of 13, he worked at a settlement house helping underprivileged working youth. After graduating from Boston University, Mr. Brown served in the Korean War and then went to work at the San Francisco Department of Social Services, where he helped support runaway youth shelters. He then moved to the federal government, where he served for 25 years with the U.S. Children's Bureau, assisting thousands of runaway youth. Mr. Brown was one of the key supporters of Your House South, Star Vista's home for runaway youth in Redwood City, which, by the way, is also the only home in San Mateo County for runaway youth. I now ask Al Brown's wife, Mrs. Diane Brown, to come up and accept the Star Visionary Award on his behalf. Is she? There she is. Okay. Am I supposed to give her the football or the flowers? Okay. She said, as long as I don't get a tax bill from you. I used to be the county assessor. Anyway, here's the Star Vista Award. Thank you very much. And you're going to say a few words?
I can't follow what you said.
That's okay. Go ahead, say a few words.
Well, I just want to thank you all for this. It's an unexpected. It's working. I didn't realize I would be speaking to a crowd this size. And the old saying, unaccustomed as I am to public speaking, you will soon realize that. But I just want to thank you for this, and Al would be most pleased to have accepted this in person. He's not here. Thank you.
Well, Warren certainly knows how to roll with the punches. Way to go, Warren. All right, so let's give one more round of applause for our Star Visionary Award winners. All right, so now comes a moment that I must confess I have been very excited about for many, many months. As many of you know, Keena Turner is one of the Bay Area's excuse me, most beloved San Francisco 49ers. and was one of the key players of the famous Team of the Decade. They went on to win 4 Super Bowls, and I am very excited because I am a crazy, diehard San Francisco 49er fan, and I have been since their 1981 season. For those of you who know the team know that that was the beginning of a key dynasty. It was phenomenal. Before I introduce Mr. Keena Turner, I want to share a personal story with you. So I'm very much a local girl, was born in San Francisco, grew up in the peninsula, and had the pleasure of playing in the great Cappuccino High School marching band in Millbrae. And one of my happiest moments in high school was getting to be part of the opening ceremonies during Super Bowl 19 at Stanford Stadium on January 20th, 1985. I actually still have the t-shirt that I was given. And my husband will verify that I still wear this t-shirt. It's true. So as many of you remember, on that day, the 49ers defeated the Miami Dolphins 38-16. And my friends and I, we just about lost our minds because we were on the football field during the national anthem, and we're looking across, we're facing the 49ers, and who do we see? Okay, I'm going to give you a trip down memory lane. Coach Bill Walsh, Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, Ronnie Lott, Roger Craig, and of course, Keena Turner. I have always been a firm believer in the power of teamwork. When we work together, we can achieve greatness. And I've always believed that ever since I was a child. And so that is part of the reason I love the 49ers, because they achieved remarkable things, and they have been since that time. And I was inspired, especially on that day, getting to be there, seeing you play here in the peninsula. Now, Keena is the Vice President of Football Affairs for the San Francisco 49ers. But as you can see and as you will hear, he cares deeply about community and youth and nonprofits like Star Vista. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Mr. Keena Turner.
Wow. That's how old I am, huh? Geez, I tell you, I haven't had this warm a reception in quite a while. It's really, I was telling some folks this morning that, you know, this used to be my old stomping ground. I moved out to Tracy about 19 years ago, but, you know, years ago, the 49ers facility was here in Redwood City. And so we all kind of lived in the area. I was in San Carlos for a lot of years, so it was nice to kind of be back home last night and to be here this morning with all of you. It really is an honor to be a part of the celebration, and you know, just kind of going around the room and meeting some of the folks and listening to the partnerships that have been established over the last 20 plus years is really pretty amazing. You know, Sarah hit it right on the money that these partnerships have developed a pretty awesome team, and as you would imagine, I've kind of gotten used to the word dynasty, and you know, to see what you good folks are doing is really, really amazing and fantastic. And you know, as I shared with my friends at table 16, why don't I get my table to stand up? If I can get Debbie and my folks at table 16 to stand up, we had some great conversations this morning about family, about kids. Debbie is really kind of spearheaded me being here this morning. She's a personal member of the 49ers family, and so it was really good to, you know, to talk about life, right? Which is kind of what all of this is about, you know, and the influence that you folks can have and have had and will have on so many lives. And the business I've been around for the last number of years is pretty glamorous, on one side of it. But it also involves real life stuff. And a lot of the situations that you folks have seen through your business and through your personal lives, it's also a part of the 49ers family and those young players that you see. So we're all really on the same team. And so it really is important what you do and the idea of teamwork and what that really means, right? To have this common goal that we all share, to have this commitment, to have the sacrifice that's a part of it, and all about what's best for, reaching that ultimate in our given choice of support here. So thank you much for having me. Now, and I don't get out much. Somebody said, oh yeah, you talk a lot. I'm never going to talk. They don't want to hear from me. But one thing I've done traditionally over the years, and you guys have got to be honest with me since we're friends now, is who thought that Tina Turner was going to be here? Come on. Come on. Hey, listen. Maybe about 20 years ago I would have, but it never fails that I get at least one, right? Wherever I go, somehow in a deep sleep stupor, thought, hey, Tina's, maybe she'll perform. I'd also like to congratulate the Brown family and our good friends at Hedge Fund Cares. The relationship we've had with you folks and what you guys do has been dynamic. So to see those recognitions is really, really fantastic. And again, I can't say enough about what you folks have committed to. And so when Sarah started to talk to me kind of about that fundamental approach that they have at Star Vista and you guys participate in to make this awesome team, it kind of reminded me of kind of a project that I'm proud of to be a part of down at the 49ers. And as you guys know, we're opening up a new stadium in the next few months. It's about 84% done. Got about 800 workers out there every day banging away to get that thing done. And there's a project, right? Okay, that all of you have to come and see. There's one project, and you can watch the game too, but there's one other project, a part of the new stadium that I want you guys to be thinking about. And we are going to have a 20,000 square foot museum, Hall of Fame physical space at the new stadium. And I've been working on this project for the last 2.5 years. So it's kept me real close to kind of what's going on at the new stadium, and it's only 30 feet away from the front door of the facility, so I can't hide from it. But the picture you're seeing is kind of a part of it. Can you guys hear me if I walk away from the, one thing I can't do as like this retired athlete is stand in one place. I gotta kind of move around, I gotta keep it circulating, because if it gets in one place, it starts to lock. But so as a part of the museum, our Edward J. DeBartolo Sr. 49ers Hall of Fame is included, right, in the museum. And what you're seeing here is we're going to have life-size statues of all of our inductees, right? Life-size statues. And what you're seeing is an almost finished product of what those life-size statues are going to look like. And this picture is from my last visit to the studio, which is in Brooklyn, actually, back in New York. So we've been traveling back to Brooklyn the last couple of years as these have kind of progressed. And this moment, and I didn't know the picture was coming, but the statue of Bill was so lifelike. And I caught myself in a moment, communicating. What should I do, Coach? And it took me back, and this happens a lot, it kind of took me back to the influence, right? The imprint that this guy made on my life. I met Bill when I was 22 years old. And he was a part of my life until he passed away. And it went from a relationship where he was obviously my head coach to a relationship where he was my boss when I worked for him as an assistant coach at Stanford, to a relationship that became a friendship and a mentor. To pretty much everything that I did in my life. And so I just started to realize in my 50 plus years just the impact and influence that he had. And one of the things he always talked about as we got together is that we're in this together. We play for one another. And we win and lose together. And that is the fundamental belief and approach that the 49ers still have today. It is about the team, the team, the team. You'll hear Coach Harbaugh when he says it. He always says it 3 times. The team, the team, the team. And that has always been the emphasis and the fundamental approach that we carry through for years and years and years. And so to be a part of this project, we have, after this year's induction, we'll have 25 members in our San Francisco 49ers Hall of Fame. And I personally believe, and I think you guys will agree, that the 49ers Hall of Fame is kind of here, and then the Canton Hall of Fame is somewhere, right? Somewhere underneath. And so we'll have 25 members after this year, and about 12 of those guys I have kind of a personal relationship with. Either I played with them, or they were coaches or administrators in my time. So it's an extremely huge project that I'm proud to be a part of, and that will be opening when the new stadium comes about. And all of those guys that I played with share our approach to teamwork, right? All of those guys that I played with were committed to the guy that was next to him. And they just happened to also be great players. But none of them put themselves above the team and absolutely understood the importance of their individual involvement in the success and everything that we did. And so, with that, again, I can't thank all of you folks enough for your commitment to strengthening communities, to having that singular goal in mind, and to deal with all that goes with that. Because it's not easy, I would imagine. And when we set these lofty goals, it never is. Obviously, it's in the journey. And sometimes we wish and know that the journey probably doesn't have to be this difficult sometimes, but it is. And for you guys to be so committed to seeing it through, right? Seeing it through, which is what you do as a team. You see it through together, right? You're there for one another. You pick a guy up when you know he's having a tough time, but you know what he wants and what he's striving for, and there's this commitment. It's amazing when we look at all of the things that are kind of going on, in our world, and yet it's working, right? We know what it takes. Some of this other stuff kind of gets in the way, of the business that has to happen, I guess. But we know what it takes. You guys know what it takes. And so to have this success for this long and this commitment, my hat's off to you, and it's a pleasure to be here and a part of the breakfast this morning. And go get another 25 years and have me back. Now, I usually start with this other thing too, so I'll end with this. Can I get everybody to stand up? Because I usually like to know exactly who's in the room. Right? And we just go stretch a little bit, no breaks, moving around. Mom, I know where you are. Okay, now, again, you got to be honest with me. So, all of the 49er fans, sit down. anybody have any questions at all? Is there any big ones that I can answer for anyone? We're going to win it all next year, so don't worry about that. Yes, sir.
Whose idea was the Hall of Fame?
That's a great question. Jed York. Jed York's idea. When we went to him and said, this is our idea, this is what we want to do, Jed said, absolutely. It's got to be done. And I want it done right, and I want it done first class. And this museum, and I spent a lot of time talking about the Hall of Fame because that's kind of the centerpiece, but the whole museum will be something that you've never seen before in a sports museum ever. From a technology side and a presentation side, it's phenomenal. 15,000 square feet on the street level, another 5,000 downstairs. And downstairs we will house the Needs to Barlow York Education Center. And again, another Jed and Danielle idea to support the schools in the Bay Area to come in and get a curriculum that's created by us that has a STEM emphasis on the presentation, and we're excited about that. So there's a lot that's a part of this that we're proud of, and Jed and Danielle were at the forefront of wanting this to happen.
My name's Colin Kaepernick, and we went both
Now we get to it. I knew it would come around. Everybody got comfortable. I knew it would. And look, I'll tell you, the question was, when is Colin Kaepernick going to learn to get rid of the ball fast? And here's what I'm going to say. And I know you guys are saying, yeah, you work for 49. But I believe that this young man is going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the business for a while. He's still got some things to learn, to your point. I think he will learn them, but I'm excited about the future for us, because in this league, as you guys know, you cannot win without a quarterback. Now I'll give you this history lesson. If you look back over the last couple of years, him as our starting quarterback, his level of play was elevated in each postseason. His level of play. Go back and look at the postseason, but you can come, bring it down to one play. Or two plays. His level of play in the postseason was regular season, postseason. I like that. I like those odds. Right? That Seattle defense gave nobody credit all season long. They said about Colin Kaepernick, that guy can play. I like our odds. So, let's answer you directly. So, thank you again for having me.
Well, thank you, Mr. Keena Turner. Let's give him another round of applause. I loved what you said about teamwork, partnerships, working together, and I just about passed out when he mentioned the Star Vista mission statement of strengthening communities. Oh my gosh, that was impressive. Thank you so much. Thank you. Now, I would love to have you all see our video. And as you know, every year we show a different video that highlights client stories. And this one is amazing. I cannot wait to share it with you. So we give you our Star Vista video highlighting the personal story about two clients and the partnerships that they had with Star Vista.
both of my parents had pretty serious mental illness. My mom was in and out of institutions a lot. She's an alcoholic and schizophrenic. And my father suffered from bipolar illness. So there was a lack of attention and a persistent feeling on my part of depression, anxiety, loneliness. And so by 16, I was doing cocaine, and I just kind of hid from my parents in kind of a chemical cloud. My life pretty much consisted of getting high, getting arrested, going back home and repeating. It was just really miserable. There were times where I just wanted to just end it.
My mom was a single mom, kind of moving us around the city a lot. She eventually fell into alcoholism. It got to the point where she needed to go to rehabilitation or she was going to die. And she left. I spent most of my high school career after that couch surfing. It got to the point where I was in my last semester of high school, and it was bad at that point. I had 2 garbage bags full of my stuff and literally had nowhere to go. I was trying my best to focus on grades and still do all the things that I was supposed to do, but that becomes impossible when you have no place to go. So I was angry, I felt betrayed and abandoned, and I felt let down. But I think that anger manifested into determination to succeed.
The services that Star Vista provided for me was a safe alternative to go rather than jail initially, where I could receive some counseling. I felt hopeless at the time, and they gave me a little bit of hope. They taught me that I wasn't necessarily a bad person or a failure in life because of what I was going through. But there were other people that were going through the same thing. They treated me like a human being. I wasn't running into a lot of nurturing, warm, caring people when I was out there. And I did run into that at Star Vista.
At Star Vista, I was involved in their Daybreak program, which is a transitional housing facility for homeless youth. Finding an organization like Star Vista for me meant that I wasn't alone. It affirmed for me that what was happening to me was not my fault, and that it wasn't something I deserved, and that there were actual people within the community that cared about people like me. So it meant that I mattered. It meant that even though, just because you're not privileged doesn't mean that you're not worthy.
Star Vista taught me to believe in myself by recognizing the strengths that I had. It gave me motivation to work towards some of my goals. I'm a guy that's coming in, a methamphetamine addict, somebody that people would look at and just say, this guy, what use could he possibly be? And Star Vista was like, no, there's somebody useful, you know what I mean, underneath that maybe can be salvaged. You can't have enough people like that in the world, right? That are non-judgmental and can find the good in somebody and tease it out. Star Vista, it's like just a lifesaver, it really is.
Before I got to Star Vista, I didn't feel secure about my abilities to be successful. I knew I could survive, but I didn't really think that I had a bright future. One of the best ways that they empowered me was encouraging me to think about what I wanted for myself, and then offering ways, avenues to support it. And so it empowered me to follow my dreams, but more than that, it empowered me to dream. Because I suddenly believed that I could do a little bit more with myself than just survive.
My life now is pretty amazing. I am going to school. I'm 1 semester away from being a certified alcohol and drug counselor. I no longer have to carry around all the shame and guilt. I feel like a full person. I got lots of support and lots of friends. I'm also working part-time as a relief counselor for Star Vista. It's exhilarating to be a part of. I owe what I'm doing now to Star Vista. I'm just really grateful for all the love and support. You know, them seeing things in me that I couldn't see in myself, I was able to achieve more than I thought I would ever been able to achieve.
Because I was a part of the Star Vista program, I was able to learn skills that allowed me to do all kinds of things with my life. I recently completed my master's degree in public health. I am working at San Francisco State University as a lecturer. I teach science, chemistry, and I also teach health education. I have a teenage son who's now preparing for college. Star Vista saved me. If I didn't have that foundation to start from, there would have been no college, even a thought to go to college. I wouldn't have known what to do. I certainly would not have been the success that I am now. So when it comes to Star Vista, there's nothing that I could ever do to thank them enough.
I am so proud to be part of Star Vista and so proud of the staff. I'm so grateful for your support. I'd like to now introduce to you Mark and Marilyn. Would you please stand? Wow. I'd like to invite Mark to join me at the podium now. So what you didn't get to see in the video was that there was someone very key, come on up, in supporting Mark. Sergeant Matthew Lethine, along with our staff, was one of the key people who never gave up on Mark. And Sergeant Lethine is here in the audience today. What you didn't get to see in the video was all that Sergeant Lethine did behind the scenes to help Mark. Sergeant Lethine encouraged Mark to see a different path and helped get him connected to our First Chance program, which provided him the services and support that he needed. I know we have some First Chance staff here, so would you please stand up so we can acknowledge you? Thank you for what you do every single day, 365 days a year. Before we invite Sergeant Lethine up, I'd like to pass the mic over to you.
Well, good morning. It's an honor and a little surreal to be here right now. You know, I really wanted to thank Officer Lethine. I didn't want to get help necessarily in the beginning. I went a little resistantly. Usually involved handcuffs, and what ended up, you know, what started out as being something that I felt was causing me problems ended up bringing me to a place where, I mean, it was almost a relief when he would show up and he would take me to Star Vista and I got services. They would call me, stay in touch, and as a result, you know, I'm standing here today. So thank you so much, and thanks everybody for your support.
It gives us great pleasure to now welcome Sergeant Matthew Lethine to the podium.
thank you very much. It's very flattering and humbling to be recognized. More than that, though, I mean, it's wonderful to be here, see that video. I got to talk to Mark today before the breakfast and hear just how well he's doing and hear about just his success story. I think everybody in law enforcement, to some extent, we all get into this job because we want to have influence. Keena, you talked about the influence you want to have on the community. You know, you want to make your community better. You want to help people. A lot of times we don't see people on their best day. We don't. But to be able to hear and see and catch up and hear about a success and hear about the influence we can have, it's special. It really is inspiring. It reinvigorates me. I've worked in a different county before. We didn't have something like Star Vista and First Chance. So just from our end, my end in law enforcement, thank you. It's a great resource. It does a lot of good. So it's great to have that in the county. It's also great to work in an environment, in an atmosphere. The law enforcement community in this county really is focused on the community. You were talking about the importance of focusing on the community. San Mateo Police, our chief, our admin, I know from talking with other agencies, they're focused on really trying to improve the community and really help the individual. So thank you very much. Jonah.
I'll tell you, when I first started talking to Mark about his journey, and he kept telling me about this incredible police officer, I had to find him, and I'm so glad that I was able to track you down, Matt. All right, so we would like to thank you for all that you've done, and I wanted to take a moment to thank all the police officers, police chiefs, and law enforcement officials who often don't get to see the difference that they make. And you are such a key partner. And I honestly thank you from the bottom of my heart for your support in working in partnership with us. Thank you. Now I would like to invite Marilyn to join me at the podium. We can give her a nice round of applause. As you saw in the video, Marilyn has come a very long way since her time at Daybreak. She is now a lecturer at San Francisco State University, and she's also a frequent visitor of our Daybreak program. She goes there to connect with the youth who are there, to inspire them, to share with them her story and give them hope. I know there's some Daybreak staff here, so I would like to invite you to stand up also and be recognized. So in a moment, we'll invite Jimmy Sosa to come up, but first I just wanted to hand the mic over to you.
Thank you.
Sure.
I'm too emotional to do this right now. Oh, I'm so moved by everything and everyone. First, I want to acknowledge all of you for being here today. You're here because you care. It matters to you what happens to people within the community, and that means something, particularly to people like me. And I want to thank you for participating. Thank you for caring. Thank you for helping. You can't imagine, well, maybe some of you can, but it's difficult to describe how it feels when you don't have resources and you don't have support, and then all of a sudden you find a community like this. I'm looking out at you now, that is there for you, and they don't even know you. So I just want to thank you. Thank all of you for being here. My journey was tumultuous, to say the least, and it's not over. Still working it out. I was at Daybreak 21 years ago, if you can believe it. Oh, I just gave my age away. It's all good. It's all good. But when I arrived at Daybreak, there were so many skills that I didn't have. And if it wasn't for Daybreak, I don't think I would have been able to live independently successfully. I might have made it from time to time and bit by bit, but I certainly wouldn't have been, it wouldn't have been sustainable. And so there was one person in that program, the program manager, Mr. Jimmy Sosa, who was so influential to me and my success and many others. Jimmy was the one that did the intake for me, and he just looked at me and said, Marilyn, I want to hear about your story. I do, and we're going to talk about it, we're going to get through it. But now it's time that the work starts. If you want to live independently and you want to be successful, you've got to work for what you want. And I'm going to give you some tools to help you get there. And Jimmy is the person who sat me down and taught me how to balance a checkbook. He taught me what a budget was. He taught me how to do laundry, how to wash whites. Didn't know. I didn't know these things. And then on the day that I was ready to leave, Jimmy got a truck, a little mini truck from one of his friends, I believe, and handed me all the cash that I had saved the 6 months that I was there, and drove me to St. Vincent de Paul. And we bought a sofa bed for me because I had a studio apartment. We bought dishes, plates, and all of these things were mine for the first time. And he dropped me off, and I've been living independently ever since. So Jimmy changed my life. He's impacted many, many, many lives. And it's an honor, it's such an honor to recognize him today for that. And I just want to remind you all that I know that there are two of us, Mark and myself here, that we're acknowledging, but there are hundreds of people that you all reach. There's so many of us. And so thank you for hiring people like Jimmy and Sabina and Sarah, and asking inspirational people to contribute to this conversation like Kina. And thank you, just thank you for providing that vehicle for us. It is such an honor to invite up here Mr. Jimmy Sosa.
Good morning, everybody. Can you hear me? No one's ever called me Mr. Jimmy Sosa. I don't know who she was talking about.
That's your name on there, right there.
And I still can't budget my own account. You know, I have that's an ongoing issue. But 29 years ago we were together, Kina Turner and Dr. Mitchell. I was also at Stanford in '85. So. See, 21 years ago, I had as a resident counselor at Daybreak, I had the opportunity to meet Marilyn, and she was a 17-year-old back in '93, and she entered '93. Now you know her age. Now you really can figure out age. Back then, it was hard for the youth there. There were a lot of them were between the 16, 18-year-old range, to show them how to save money, how to plan. Marilyn was very successful at that. She entered and completed her 6 months at Daybreak, and during that time, in '93, was able to save $4,200. That's quite a bit now. Now $4,200 may not seem like a lot, but back then it was. She was able to use that money to move out and live independently, and she's been able to achieve quite a bit since then. As you can see, she's now a science teacher at San Francisco State and doing some lecturing, which is wonderful. I'm really honored to be here, and I want to thank Star Vista and the staff at Star Vista. Sorry, lose my thought. But Marilyn's a model of what a success story she is, and what Daybreak and Star Vista program can provide to the youth in the community that they serve. I want to thank you all. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, let's give them another nice round of applause. So with Marilyn, it was similar when she was telling me her story and about this amazing manager who made such a difference in her life so many years ago. It was my personal quest to find Jimmy Sosa. And we found him, and he works for the county now, but a former Star Vista employee. And hopefully you see the impact, years and years and years of impact. We serve over 34,000 people a year now here in San Mateo County, and that would not be possible without partners like all of you. So I thank you. Yes, 20 years, an amazing thing. Now, I am so excited to introduce to you now the Mayor of Daly City, our friend, and Star Vista's Board Vice Chair, Mr. David Canepa. Please give him a warm welcome. He will be talking to you all about a very special opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm delighted to be here. I do want to recognize Keena, not Tina Turner, but you know, you really touched on teamwork. And I think that's why, speaking on behalf of the Board of Directors, I'm involved with Star Vista. Our Colin Kaepernick is Dr. Larios, and she really does a tremendous, tremendous job. And the stories are just so uplifting. And so, as Sarah had mentioned, we deal with about 34,000 people. And I always taught growing up, it's not about a handout, it's about a hand up. And I think Star Vista does a tremendous, tremendous job. Today, I'm happy to announce a big, big program. A big, big program. Before I do that, the emergency fund, which is going to be set up today, we have a donor who is, for every dollar that you give today, and I see a lot of folks from San Mateo County who consistently, whether it's the police chiefs, whether it's the sheriff's office, whether it's government officials, whether it's just business folks, we always seem to step up. So today, I'm delighted to tell you that Mr. Mozart, for every dollar that we donate today, he will donate, or that you donate today, he will give us $1 back. This will fund an emergency fund. This emergency fund is an important fund. And so let me give you some examples. With this fund, there are folks who don't have the opportunity, whether it's domestic violence, any issue that affects them. In a time of need, they desperately need resources. What this fund is going to do is it's going to help people. So for the domestic violence abuse victim, she has nowhere to go. She has, she has a baby and their diapers. This fund will help that mother. And so imagine time of urgency, time of need, where you need resources. This is going to really help people get what they ask. So today we're asking you to open up your wallet and open up your hearts. You've heard testimonials from different people. We need your help in continuing the work here at Star Vista. So if everyone would join me in opening up their program. In your program, there is an envelope. This envelope is going to help us fund people who have a need. And so one time or another in our life, we've all had certain challenges, different challenges, or we've known friends who've had challenges. What I'm asking you today is to look within yourself and to really, really make a difference. And whatever that numeric number is, it's fine. But if you can just help out, we would really, really appreciate it. And the families and the children that we serve, we'd be humbled to have your support. So I'm going to give you a couple minutes. No pressure, no pressure. And sorry about that. The good doctor, Dr. Larios, has to remind me, did I bring my checkbook? Yes, I did, Sarah. So I will be writing my check right now. And so there will be table captains to pick up the donations that you make today, and we're really, really appreciative of all your help. Where's that? Oh, wow.
You can save that one for last, and then you can sign this one.
Okay, so where's the raffle?
So this one you can sign when you're ready. You can sign it there.
Okay.
So, Nikki, you want to give out all these T-shirts? Yes. So we'll just keep going until we run out, and then that'll be the very last one, right?
Keenan will be the last one.
This
Okay.
one, the first one.
Okay.
So do I announce the winners?
Yeah, you.
Okay.
So Keenan will pick. So we'll start with these.
Okay.
So just keep going. So you can say it's the last chance for people to put
Okay.
in.
And then
So folks, last chance for the raffle. Okay.
That will be the very last
with this
one.
If you have business cards, we'll be coming around. Okay, cool.
So you're going to invite them to come up and ask them to draw a business card.
Okay.
And then you can read it out.
Okay.
And then we'll invite them up and pick.
Okay. Okay. Well, first, let me thank you for your donation. We are going to have the raffle now with Keena Turner. Keena. Okay, so the first item we have is San Francisco 49ers hat. Uh-oh.
That might be the one.
I'm just trying to keep it fair.
Okay, here we go.
I promise this wasn't rigged. And the winner is Sabina Lacose Harris, an employee at Star Vista. Congratulations. Hey, you want to do it, sir? Congratulations, Pat Brown from Village Enterprise. Okay. Okay. Oh, that's good job. Here.
She wants an autograph. Thank you. Yes, please. Oh, you don't want to
The next is a 49er hat.
sign this? So, here, I'll drive. Okay.
The winner is Patricia Rodley.
She's a little excited to meet you. No, go ahead.
A 49er t-shirt. Congratulations, Mark Allen from Color Print. It's fun. We have a 49er t-shirt. Lindsay Stark. Lindsay Stark.
Well, I know everybody.
Wow, this is an interesting one.
Yeah. I cannot believe it.
She wins every time. That's what she said. We have a good friend, everyone knows her in San Mateo County, Thrive, Portia Shen Silverberg.
Yeah.
This, yeah.
Yeah, I think this one will be put down at complete metal. And then this will be the last T-shirt.
And we have Memo Morantes. Memo. Nice little polo shirt for you, Memo. Okay.
Yeah, play up what it is first.
Okay. Okay, this is a doozy. We have a football signed by Dwight Clark, diagrammed, and this was planned, I'm sure, in '82, the actual catch. So a diagrammed catch signed by Dwight Clark. And the winner is?
Oh, we'll have Keena draw it.
We'll have Keena. This is for the Dwight Clark, the catch.
All right, here it is.
No way.
Who is it?
Wow. It's appropriate. It's in the city of Redwood City. He wears a rather large star. He's the chief of police, J.R. Gamez. Okay. Okay. So we have as our final prize, we'll wait for Mr. Keena Turner. It's a Marcus Allen signed Raiders football. No, it's not. It's not. No. So no. No, I'm kidding. We have an NFL football that's going to be signed by Keena Turner right here, right now. It'll be personalized. Might have some defensive formations for you that he played to win those 4 Super Bowls. Not putting any pressure on you. But with that, this signed football goes to, from Keena Turner. Oh, good. So it's from, this is all coming full circle, County of San Mateo Human Service Agency, Locke Nguyen. Congratulations, Locke. Oh, no. Where is he?
So Locke is giving the football to his son. Isn't that sweet? Yay! Congratulations. I'm so happy for you. Thank you. Wow, so I want to thank David and Keena and mostly all of you for being here and celebrating partnerships and teamwork with us. I am just so proud to live and work in this county and to count you all as friends and supporters. As promised, we are letting you out a little early, so linger, don't be shy. Keena Turner is super friendly and nice, as you have seen. He's very tall. I'm sure he would love to meet you. Thank you all. I applaud you. Thank you so much. So you guys, we were just at the 22nd annual Starting Line Breakfast. It was amazing. What was it like for you to be up there sharing your story?
Like I said a moment ago, surreal. It's amazing to be in a room with so many dynamic people that have such a passion for community health and community building. And so serving the community and just being a part of something bigger than just my little understanding of the Daybreak program, seeing the broad impact of Star Vista was overwhelming, wonderful, thrilling. So
You did a wonderful job. I was so moved just listening to you and hearing you talk to Jimmy Sosa, who we honored today. It was really emotional. It was really emotional. How about for you, Mark? What was it like for you watching the video and then getting a chance to connect with Sergeant Lathine?
Hey, it was amazing. I mean, I saw him come in the door, and I was like, what a coincidence. Officer Lathine's here. This is great. How appropriate. Because we had a lot of, we had a sort of an odd bond, coming into the situation. And it was surreal. Like, I think that's a great word. And just an honor to and especially it was overwhelming to be sitting at the table with chiefs of police and all my colleagues around, and it was just amazing. It was a really neat event. A lot of energy and emotion.
I was so moved hearing you just thank the police officer. And I have to tell you, I had one police chief come up to me afterwards, and he said, I got to talk to Mark. I'm so inspired. He made such a difference. So yes, so it was really wonderful. And I just want to thank the two of you for sharing your stories. I feel so honored to be here with you guys. Thank you. Oh, David, you did an amazing job this morning speaking on behalf of the Board of Directors of Star Vista. What was it like for you being in front of that audience?
There was just a lot of energy. I think hearing the stories from different folks, and really how some were at the bottom of their lives and really were able to Star Vista's efforts really to improve and enhance their lives. To see that sort of transformation, it makes it all worth it. And to understand that we serve 34,000 people, that's pretty powerful.
What was it like for you to see Keena Turner here, a San Francisco 49er alumni, and seeing him hand out all those awards?
Not as good as when you saw him on the Super Bowl field, but when I was a kid, I was a Niners fan. And so to see him up there and to see what he represents in terms of the 4 championships, it's pretty good stuff.
What does it mean to you to be part of the board of directors of Star Vista?
It means a lot because it's about supporting people, and it's about helping people. It's about partnerships, and it's really about, at the end of the day, what can we do to make people's lives better? And I think being a board member and those who are on the board, I think we share that mission. We want to make sure that those folks in San Mateo County have the best, and Star Vista provides that.
Well, I want to thank you for all you do for the city of Daly City and also for Star Vista. I'm so honored and humbled, honestly, to have you as part of our board of directors. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah, for all you do. All right.
So I am such a 49er fan, and I was probably more nervous about introducing you than speaking in front of a crowd of over 300. We were just honored to have you here. What was it like for you to be speaking to all these different folks who came to hear about Star Vista?
Well, I was really in awe kind of listening to you, Sarah, talk about all the great partners that Star Vista has and the mission that everybody is so focused on, which is to improve the community and really, work toward, helping people that really need it. And so it was great for me to be a part of the morning, the celebration, the many years that Star Vista has been doing a great job. And so it was awesome for me to be around some other champions.
That's great. What was it like for you to reminisce about your days with Bill Walsh? That photograph that you had up on the screen was so poignant. And when we saw it, we were really inspired and moved. Like, it really seemed like you were trying to connect with him. What was it like for you to see that?
Well, as we talked about this morning, he has had and will always have such an influence on my life about, what teamwork is all about, working together as a group, having a common goal, but also, going about it the right way, being involved in community, wanting to help, wanting to be the right kind of, father and an example for young people. So he is someone that I think about often, and I will miss him for sure, and will never forget him.
I want to thank you for all the years with the San Francisco 49ers and for being here and sharing your story and your presence. I'm really grateful. Thank you.
Well, the only thing that's missing is the Super Bowl 19 T-shirt. You should have it on now for the interview, and that would have made it perfect.
Oh, thank you so much, Keena. It's been a pleasure.